All right, we're back. It's game number 1 here for the other semifinals. Now, the winner of this goes on to fight against Mana, who is guaranteed in the finals waiting for one of these two. Just had a great series versus Raynor, and his PVZ is looking strong, so it is a guaranteed PVZ finals no matter what. But it is a question of which of these two go on to fight against him. So, spawning here in the top right side of Dusk Towers is going to be our first semifinalist here, Guru.
In the bottom left, as the Teal Zerg, it is Tefel.
The Tefel's a pretty good player, and I've got nothing against him. But I've got my favoritism towards Guru for a little bit, because he has been looking really good. His series versus Revolver really caught my eye, and I've been quite excited to see more of his ZvZ since.
Yeah. He actually got beat by Revolver in a best of 5, but then beat Revolver yesterday to get to the semi-finals of Match Arena. 2-0, so his ZvZ is looking okay. It's looking good. Tefel is, I guess, a little more up in the air. I mean, this guy's always coming out for the European tournaments, and he's consistent, but not like at, finals or semifinals consistent. I'd say like round of 8 or semifinals. So I don't know if he's ready to gun for the actual win, especially since the next opponent beyond this will be versus Mana, and Mana has been looking good in this matchup. Oh. Today is, I guess, the day where Detox is the first map for the finals. So that's kind of cool.
That's actually not too bad for Manu, who has played on it before, but lots of complaints from people who have never played on the map. It's funny because we get good feedback from people who have played on the map and figured it out. We get bad feedback from people who are like, this map's stupid. I played it one time and I lost on it, so fuck this map. It's garbage.
Yeah, a little disappointing. I mean, there is a very obvious problem versus Terran with that Liberator positioning, but Dusk Tower technically has it too, so... And we weren't 100% sure that it existed, but... looks pretty good. But there aren't any more Terran in this tournament, so...
Rip. Why you make me all sad like that?
I don't know.
I mean, we are at the semifinals. It's to be expected and not at all surprising, but... Anyways, also just a quick reminder, this tournament wouldn't be possible without the help of Corsair guys, so make sure to check out their gear links down below on the Twitch page. Very much appreciated if you do so. A couple links from Guru actually can get a scout off. This doesn't happen too often. Normally there's a queen sitting on that ramp ready to block it, but I guess with 3 bases already down, Tefel didn't mind what Guru had to see.
Yeah, it's been a basic ZvZ so far. I mean, Tefel getting away with this third hatch a lot quicker might, anger Guru a little bit. Like, I swear to God, if only I was doing this or that. But he's getting his own third at an okay time. I mean, the two answers for this is either like you all in, try and tear it down, or you kind of just deal with it, get your own third, and catch up in the macro.
Oh, I forgot about this. Chat reminding us it's Poland versus Poland too, so a little bit of Polish pride as all 3 players remaining at this point are Polish. Mana, Guru, and Tefel.
Yeah.
Never forget how good the Polish players are at StarCraft 2.
Yeah, they're taking like the number 1 spot. Number 2. I mean, after Koreans.
Yeah, they've got that ESL Germany, which became like ESL Meisterkraft or whatever it's called. It was like a tournament for Germans specifically. They need to have one for Polish people, man. Like, goddamn, Poland has got some good StarCraft 2 players.
I certainly do. Well, another scout goes down, and I'm surprised there's been really no Ling action at all. They both were content just backering up to Roaches.
I'm not so surprised that it didn't come out of Tefel, but I am surprised it didn't come out of Guru. Again, just referencing recent series that we've seen from him. But we've also talked about how the nice thing about Roaches when you do play this sort of more, I guess, macro side of ZvZ is the fact that you don't have that one lucky baneling hit from your opponent ruin your day. You guarantee, like, okay, I've got more Roaches, so I will win the game. My macro was better.
Yeah. I guess it is also Dusk Towers, so this always tends to lend itself to those longer Roach games. But it also tends to go into not just Roach, but then a Spire for one or both parties after said Roaches. So I think that's why they're very insistent on all the scouting. It's 3 bases, there wasn't any Ling all in, so it's probably going to go to Roaches, but then what's after the Roaches? Really, Tefel? A 4th? This quickly? Damn.
What are we watching?
I know,
Well, Guru's going to match him for it. I mean, this is the nice thing about scouting. You can see what's going on. So, I guess, a little bit of an elaboration for what Zombie was kind of freaking out about is not just it continues the macro side of the game and the passive side of the game, but it's also a weakness. You put a 4th out here this early, if your opponent was going for a Roach all-in, you would lose this, like, without question. Very dangerous, very expensive investment.
Yeah. It's been a while since we've seen such a passive ZvZ, and certainly this isn't the favorite, but if they both get to Lurkers, there's one thing that I kind of missed from Legacy of the Void beta, and that's when Lurkers were literally so stupidly good that everyone had to get them. And because I thought they were very fun positionally and just, how much chunking away they did at each army. Now it's gotten a little more like, they can go for Lurkers, but there's a lot of Roach Ravager beforehand, and you can actually outposition the Lurkers. I mean, people even are trying to just straight up go Roach Ravager to overpower said Lurkers, because they are in a straight line. Sometimes they're splashed enough. Like, it's not Lurker versus Lurker. And I thought that would be a really cool part of the matchup, and then it didn't actually really become the main focus. Yeah, it didn't really happen. So, and mutas can be fun when it's muta versus muta, but mutas aren't fun when it's muta into steamroll. So it's also something I wish would have happened. More muta versus muta.
It's so just it's one of those things where I'm sure if I sat down and I thought about it for like an hour or two, just straight focus on it only, I would understand why mutas are so ridiculous. But the one unit that has been left unchanged since their last major change, which was the health increase. And they still make this game stupidly broken in so many different situations.
Broken shit looks fun as long as it's both sides have broken shit.
I mean, like, what if you didn't need Liberators to do splash damage, for example, right? Like, a big part of that necessity was because how would you ever deal with air without them? Like, I don't know.
Well, apparently I could have just watched that short and I would have been able to be like, yep, that happened.
All in time this game.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for focusing on the cast instead. Appreciate it. People asking about the bot. We talked about this at the start of the stream, and I was hoping more people would be able to answer this in chat for us. But the TLDR is Twitch is swapping over to some new chat servers, and unfortunately/fortunately, BaseTradeTV got on the new server first, but the bot channel hasn't. So we can only have one or the other. So the bot channel is going to be kind of out of commission for a couple days. You can still do everything the exact same. The only problem is you can't actually check your partoos, which I know sucks, but at least we can still do bank heists and bet on things and get partoofs for watching the channel and all that.
What? Did you see that?
No, but you look for Lurker.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's lag. I was about to complain, like 8 minutes of not much, and then someone lagging out would have been quite disappointing.
Yeah, well, someone sounds like it's you. Stop it.
It does.
I don't want to solo the rest of this very slow ZvZ. Are you kidding me?
You should just do it like a baseball announcer, like.
Oh my god, I get so bored listening to those.
Coming up to the army.
No, even hockey announcers. I think hockey announcers get some of the most hype outside of soccer, but and even those are pointless too. Anyways, the Roach count has grown really heavily here in the favor of Tefel because Guru does have Ravagers that eat up a good chunk of supply, but that's where the Hydras are going to make up that damage. With lack of Corrosive Biles, Hydras have got the fast attack speed. It's a little bit awkward coming through the middle of the map, and the unit counts aren't too desperately different, but the upgrade lead for Tefel might just be what he wants.
Yeah, Tefel has been in the lead this entire time. I know we weren't really analyzing this game because not much was happening, but Tefel got the faster third hatch, he got the faster fourth, he's been on a higher drone count, so he's been winning the income war for quite some time. Not by leaps and bounds, but still winning. So he has the bigger bank and he has he had the faster upgrade. And just little things that are leading him to a win, but it is now about that positioning. We have Lurkers on the way, though. A lot of Lurkers on the way.
The Lurkers on the front line like this are so dangerous to be morphing in right where they are, but if they finish up, they'll be good to go. Again, Tefel's upgrade lead has now disappeared, so it is 2 apiece, but that Lurker count definitely a little bit favoring Tefel here. In fact, almost to the point where he can probably move into his opponent's Lurkers because he has so many. Of course, sounds for Lurkers not so bad nowadays. Used to be much worse.
It is. I feel like it should be louder or more impactful, but...
Die Star from Millennium, by the way, is a Polish Terran, since you've asked in chat.
Thank you. The Lurker is really just taking a good position here, kind of making Guru really worry about his 5th. He can't quite defend it. It is now under attack, finally, but he's got to just be very careful with the Lurkers on that low ground. It's actually right up against the ramp. +1 for Tefel's going to finish first. Actually, Guru's is way far behind, but he has a counterattack of just pure Roach. That's going to work out pretty well.
There's action in 3 different parts of the map, and I don't know if Guru's counterattack can outrace this. Lurkers aren't exactly slow damage dealing units, and if this is going to be hashtag base trade moment, the Roaches aren't going to win it.
Well, they're racking up that drone kill counts, but Tefel such a big bank of not only minerals but also in that gas. His Remax will be more powerful and probably with better units. But Guru's trying to make something happen.
Wait, the counterattack out of Guru did get cleaned up, and Tefel's still on a bit of the rampage in terms of, I guess, momentum in this game. A big thing that's leading for him, helping out at least, that +1 Carapace. Every step of the way, Guru's slightly behind and isn't quite getting into these good fights. And the base that he lost is really his extra base that was meant to get him ahead. So
yeah,
not so bad for Guru, but still I feel Tefel just that little bit in the lead still.
Well, the army fight starts to go a little bit south for him as he's not that many lurkers.
Oh, those lurkers though.
Yeah, that one lurker started to really chunk away, and Guru does back off. So he had a bit of momentum, has now lost it. Tefel still has a pretty big bank, but the banks are really evened out. Tefel lost about 18 drones, I think, to lose out in his lead.
Yeah, I noticed that worker count and the income shift pretty heavily too here as we look at the graphs. Did not realize that was quite as stark as it was.
Mm-hmm. Thanks to Angel's Wings won for 7 months in a row.
7 months hype. Well, yeah, we never did the sub count update. I gotta go do that really quick. So, was it 12:19 p.m. on the Pacific West Coast? 1,230. So we're still holding. We're still holding.
So weird.
Repair the depot walls. We're holding.
Can't wait to see when we see those 20 Banelings roll in.
Shut up.
That'll be fun.
Why you gotta be like that?
What
about, the Banelings rolling in are gonna be a problem because we got siege tanks coming behind it. Okay. This theoretical weird fight that we made for the subscribers. One of the most dangerous things about Lurker is actually less about their splash in some instances and a lot about that range. Kind of hard for Tefel to actually get around this army to get to this base and defend it, but he does.
Mm-hmm. Guru has really brought himself back into this game after being just slight disadvantage on every front, upgrades, economy, bank, with that roach counterattack. But now I think he is starting to get a little disjointed and a little puzzled as he moves forward to some army but not the rest. It's once again that scenario of him attacking into the fourth while Tefel attacks into the fourth.
Those overseers, they need that detection. Of course, only a couple of lurkers, and this isn't too bad. This is like we fight a couple of siege tanks. They're really not too bad on their own. Those transfuses are sick, though. That lurker lived 8 different lives. It was a cat. It was a cat.
It definitely was. That actually really helped out. That was a pretty important couple of chunks there, but it's actually turning into more of a base trade than it is a base for base. Yeah. Lurkers get into the third base of Tefel, so they're going to deny a couple of reinforcements.
I still like Tefel's position in this, but you're right. Like these 4 lurkers here out of Guru are going to cut down anything coming down that ramp. Going to take damage, try to go across the map, but he knocks down his opponent's 4th. That's all the mining gone. Tefel actually has that 5th base, so he's still mining while this goes on.
Yeah.
And while Guru might have more workers, it doesn't matter if you've got nothing to mine from.
Yeah, I didn't realize Tefel was actually mining off of that base, but it was just a larva hatch right there. But that should put Tefel in the lead, up 40 army supply. The lurkers, I mean, they're great. They're starting to chunk away at the reinforcements, but actually, they're still pretty slow, and they can't actually technically be microed against. So even on the rally, Tefel's not even paying attention. He's actually getting units still to reinforce this position, and it looks like he will be taking that win.
Yeah, once the Lurker Den goes down, especially for Guru, that's going to be his last chance to actually make any useful units. Even though this Lurker gets to burrow, and it's going to slowly, eventually kill all these roaches. So slowly being the keyword there. And in a race, anytime you're racing, speed is of the essence. And Lurker does get removed from play. Now it's a couple of Lurkers on the other side of the map versus a decent-sized army from Tefel. Guru might have, with Lurkers, been able to hold up at the top of this ramp with a concave type thing, but that's not going to happen anymore. Lurker Den having gone down was a little too much to lose.
Yeah.
Oh, these drones getting chunked.
Yeah, there goes the mining for Tefel, and I mean, hey, lurkers could really, they put themselves in a position where you don't expect them. Maybe the overseer's a little late, and they all form into a line. It could happen.
But even with that money disappearing, it's the fact that, okay, both players, what do they have on the field? And Tefel, way more, way better. Like,
yeah, he has 30 army supply lead, but we have corrosive biles, something that can be microed a little bit more, and we do have lurkers, an even amount of lurkers, 2-2, which is kind of funny. But that also could be, like, in an ideal scenario, microed to the win, actually. Like, I'm not saying it's Guru's game. It's definitely Tefel's game. But Guru, there's a reason he hasn't left yet. He still sees an opportunity.
He's going for some drop overlords. Sneak some of these units out of the base, I guess. I mean, that's kind of a cute move.
He might be trying to save his lurkers.
Oh, Pick up a
But
drop
they all
lurkers.
die anyway. Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty big. Those lurkers were actually going to be useful, and Tefel was able to make 2 more lurkers too. So he's just extending that lead.
He's long distance mining until he can finally build a hatchery somewhere else. Meanwhile, picks up some roaches to go for the counterattack, and Guru still swinging.
I did not realize how many Ravagers fit into an Overlord. I've never tried it.
Just 2, isn't it?
It's just 2. I never thought about it.
This is cool though. This is like watching a Terran player trying to break a ramp when Protoss contain, but it's not the case because Tefel should have eyes on this. Yeah. Sees this coming.
A couple units will go down in favor of Guru, but that's really all of his units.
I think Tefel's a little bit shocked that his opponent hasn't left, so he goes to start checking like these side bases to make sure that there's not like a hidden base mining or something. But like, you know, Tefel, don't worry, your opponent is actually just slowly dying, believe it or not.
Yeah. Tefel is long distance mining. He could have had a hatchery by now, but he instead went for those lurkers originally and then a couple more hydras.
Oh, those overlords.
This should just be it. Yeah, he realizes there's no way. GG.
All right, Tefel going to take the first game in the semifinals here for the Corsair Cup. GG. Let's see what the next game has in store. Going to go to a small commercial break, though, because that was kind of a long one, guys. And we'll see you in 2 minutes with game number 2, ASAP. All right, we're back. And we're just going to hop directly into game. It is map number 2 in this best-of-3 semifinals match. Quick reminder to everybody that it is, of course, Mana waiting in the grand finals for the winner of this best-of-3 for that guaranteed PVZ finish. Spawning here at the bottom left side of the map, however, it is going to be the green Zerg player, Guru, with a gas and then pool.
Oh. In the top left as the teal Zerg, it is Tefel.
So we've talked about this all too many times, where this is a pretty good gamble on this map. The chance that you scout your opponent first is not too likely, but they will and should see each other right off the bat. On top of this, Tefel hasn't played too greedy, however, so it's not like, you know, he went hatch first, gas pool. He should ideally have at least something out to defend this.
Yeah. It's about having those tools, now it's about having the read and the reaction. So they do figure out where each other are. With those overlords passing by each other, so that helps a little bit. Tefel will know to actually, like, you know, he's gonna go to the natural and see no natural and know what's up. Where Guru sees the timing on Tefel's natural and knows how likely it is that Tefel will be prepared for his attack.
Got a donation coming in. That kind of caught me off guard. We haven't had a donation all day, so I was like, what was
what's
that
that sound?
Yeah. SSI GGI 2000 donates $5 and says, so I was watching Roddy's stream and the road outside was super loud, so I suggested he should look into soundproofing his window. Long story short, none of anyone banned me.
I've seen this story before.
Is this a story? I was gonna say, like, cool story, bro, but like if that's actually just copy pasted, then okay.
It might be copy pasta. It might be one guy complaining about being banned. I don't know.
What if it's like a real story, like based on a true story, like one of those movies, you know?
It might just be. You know, the Overlord did see the Lings kind of, I wanted to say escape, but run out of Guru's base. So he throws down a Baneling nest before he goes for the speed, and it is the better way to do it. Guru, by the way, did not go super all in with this. He just went for speed and is getting a hatchery, which Tefel sees.
Well, the Lings here are going to have speed in just a second. So right now, of course, for Guru, dancing around is a little bit tough. But you can run right all past this soon. Of course, that means reinforcements will be on the line much faster as well.
I think you do Kush King for the new sub. No, that's a resub. Just
it's weird. The new Twitch chat is, I don't understand how it works. Like, I guess Twitch Alerts is behind it.
Well, he actually was not subbed and then noticed and.
Okay. Thank you,
Kush King.
It
wasn't continuous.
Kush King, big love. Thank you for the sub. Yeah. Continuing on with the fight, though, Zergling's getting some decent fight. However, the Banelings are spawning here in just a second. And for Tefel, that should be enough to defend. Looking for that one magic hit. Ooh. Almost gets it.
That was very close. Oh my god, I'm surprised that Guru was able to get away with that.
The Spine and the Queen are enough to whittle away a small amount of Lings. This wasn't enough damage to be worth it, and Guru definitely doesn't have the drone count back at home. He has ceased on the attack, though, and started droning, and he is now, well, playing from behind. And oh, that Baneling hit was so sweet.
I feel like this is the way that ZvZ early pools are supposed to go. But so often, it's like the person could be going for, you know, the safest build, like Tefel did, and still die to any type of all-in, or lose their hatchery to any type of all-in. It's policy's sort of wonky, but I feel like this is the ideal situation for Tefel, who was like, good, I had a good build against this, and I was able to save the hatchery, and everything is looking like aces for me. Only downside is that, he doesn't have speed, so he can't get much scouting or counter pressure, but that's fine, because he's still in that economic lead.
There we go, Kush King finally hitting that.
Oh, there you go.
2-month resub. What's up, man? Again, the 2-month resubbers today are a little bit extra special than normal, and that's just because of our sub count 2016. The corpse actually was still flying. I didn't even realize, Jesus, how far that went. Just saw the shadow kind of cresting northwards. Now, the third base from Guru and Tefel do start up kind of not too different, so it's not going to be enough to really make a big impact on the game. Guru has notably actually caught up in drones, which I didn't think was going to happen, but yeah, the game's starting to even out just a little bit here. But Tefel, as we can see through the income graph, has been definitely winning over the last few minutes. Now, a quick note to make for those on stream: SSI GGI 2000 donated, and in chat was, what happened? My donation did disappear. Unfortunately, due to the nature of the way we cast, and welcome to the channel for the past 3 years, we have to use a 3-minute delay minimum for pretty much most things we do. And he says, I don't like waiting for that to show up on stream. And I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do about that, man. Like, the second we see it, we mention it. But afterwards, it's all stream delay.
Yeah, can't really help you there.
But just making sure other people know. Because I don't want anyone to ever feel like they've been cheated, right? Like, oh, I donated $3, but they didn't shout it out. They didn't read it. Like, what the hell, guys? But that's just how the channel works, unfortunately. Lings get denied on scouting. Good attempt to run by out of Guru, but the bailing does take it out pretty quickly. 11 roaches on the way. This is where, for Tefel, he might start getting really ahead. Guru's not even done his roach warren yet. And, well, yeah, you could make the argument there's money, there's larva. It's the fact that Tefel's already going to have, like, 11 roaches by the time Guru makes his first one.
Yeah, it's scary. The Ling sees the roaches too, and it's Guru knew that he was behind when that early pool failed to either to kill a lot of drones or tear down the hatchery. He was in a good position, but he's gonna try his damnedest to actually bring this back. So he's actually above that of Tefel and drones now. So if he had a minute or two, he would be starting to really come back in the economy war, but it's about the army war right now, which he is going to need some really ideal, like, defensive setup. So a spine crawler, queens, like good concave, hopefully defender's advantage really works out for him. And at a 20 army supply deficit, I think it could, especially if he had a couple of corrosive bile shots, but it's going to be close.
Well, real quick shout out to Ivov Jovchev. Thank you so much for the 5-month resub. Fight does commence, though, and when it comes to numbers, roach count is even. Ravagers are the lead. That's what Tefel has going for him coming into this. Couple lanes, couple banelings, too, not too shabby, but defender's advantage for Guru in a perfect situation could cover this, but Tefel, he's vicious, he's savage. He just goes for the hatchery. He's going to walk away from this.
Yeah, and he has corrosive biles to cover him on the retreat, so the drones are also being pulled. Guru is desperate. He could not lose that hatchery. He might still end up losing the army fight, too, despite having that +1. Nah.
That's got to sting.
No.
Even if he loses, like, let's say Guru loses or wins this fight, Tefel still pulls so far ahead just having that hatchery go down like that. And there's not going to be enough. Like, the trade here for Tefel should be good enough that a counterattack won't kill him.
Yeah, exactly. That should definitely be the case. Do we have queens on across? Oh, no, those are slow overlords. Let's say Tefel. It's not necessary. Tefel goes back into droning a little bit, but so does Guru. But Guru, like, I guess he was banking a lot of minerals. He wasn't able to use all of his larvae. If he was, he might have been in a better position to actually defend. But now that money's going to go into the brand new hatchery. He's still down an army. He has an upgrade going for him. So there's like, Guru he's going to try and come back. And certainly we had to, that series with Revolver. There's times where he was supposed to be down and out and he brought it back. But I don't know if Tefel's going to let that happen.
He shouldn't. Not when you've got a lead like this. To give that away would be silly. 18 roaches versus 9. It's at that point now where Tefel's just going to be able to A-move as long as the spine colors aren't up and running. But even if they do finish up in the third, he doesn't have to fight in the third. He can just go through the natural again. So he consolidates himself. He's playing it safe. But at the same time, I'm not a big fan of this because the longer you give your opponent to recover, the better chance Guru has to win this game and actually come back into it. Because as you said, like, we've seen comebacks happen. It's not too often in ZvZ, but they can be very real.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Guru losing that third base means that it's up to him to throw some trickery in here because he is just straight up behind on economy. And he will be losing out as time goes on. And unfortunately, he's not really prepared for any trickery. He doesn't have a lair, so no tumbling claws. Burrow could only help out so much with like a surprise, shark, not even a shark attack, it'd just be like a pop-up. And, well, he could try maybe like switch up and go for a Spire, which I do believe we've seen him try before. We've seen a lot of Zergs try this before. Like, they're down and outs, but they figure maybe they can get to a Spire, things can really change. Maybe he'll try that, but he'll certainly lose out in the number war. That's what Roach has really come down to.
Yeah. Well, I really don't know what to say about this, because it is one of these things where I'm not, like, we look at the actual supply, like, Guru's got a fighting chance. I don't mean to discount him, but it is, like, losing that natural base was so devastating.
Yeah.
Now, Tefel getting caught in the choke and starting to make a couple mistakes here and there, but it is still 39, well, I just made a bunch of Ravagers, but 29 to 19 for the Roach count. So many more Ravagers for Tefel. Of course, they can shoot over their Roach brothers. Speed's going to finish up in a second, plus One's going to finish up in a second. The only mistake he could make would be doing what he's doing right now, putting Ravagers on the front lines. Like, be careful about that.
Yeah. Well, Tefel's +1 finishes up as he moves over to the right side. Oh, just about. Anyways, his Ravagers go down first. Unfortunately, they were on the front lines. There's the speed finishing. There's the +1.
And then it's also where the Roaches start funneling through that entrance to the third. So, a little bit awkward as the Spike Bar catches one or two, but yeah, the reinforcements are here for Tefel in that number game you talked about before, really showing through. 29 Roaches to 3, and it looks like we're going to have Tefel take the 2-0. Move on to the finals, where he's going to fight against Mana in a best-of-5 coming up next.
Alrighty.
So congratulations to Tefel. We'll see him advance on. And this, of course, will be the end of the broadcast. As we get into... This isn't the end of the broadcast, but as we get into the end of the broadcast, one last best-of-5 to close out today. So, a bit of a faster cup. It's strange, like... These Legacy of the Void tournaments are going way faster now. It kind of sucks, to be honest. Don't get me wrong, guys. I would... A 3-hour, 3.5-hour, 4-hour cast, like, that's my jam. That's, like, a sweet amount of time to spend on StarCraft. But I just feel like I miss the casts that were, like, 5 and 6 hours long, where we got the extra games and the longer times, but... C'est la vie. It's Legacy of the Void. We may have to try and invent some sort of new format to compensate.
I don't know. See, I guess I've just never noticed that it's going so short. Like, this one's obviously going short. But it's like... I've always noticed at what times it ends. So the Limited League usually ended around 12, maybe 12:30. Now it ends around like 11:30. And then the EU Cups usually end around 5:30 or 6. And that's what's been happening. Like yesterday's ended around 5:30.
Well, we'll see what this actually times out to. We're going to go to a commercial break, though, before we do. Thank you. Oh, hey! Gareth Lewin! How you doing, man? Long time no chat. Thank you for the resub. Getting back on that hype train as we continue sub watch. Actually, so Gareth Lewin reminds me we've got to go back and check our subs as we're still hanging in, Zombie. We're still holding. We're still repairing that wall. 1,231 subscribers still holding. But again, guys, it's over the next 8 hours. We're expecting to see like 200 drop off. So do stick around. We'll be back soon with the grand finals match, Mana versus Tefel, when we return.